city of Accra now gradually home of dysfunctional traffic lights. A 2021 research conducted by the National Road Safety Authority on non-functional traffic signals across the country has revealed that nearly half, 48% of all traffic lights in the Greater Accra region are not functioning properly. A statement disclosed that a total of 75 traffic lights have been identified to be non-functional across the country. According to the National Road Safety Authority, the presence of these non-functional traffic lights is a threat to road safety and potentially increases the risk of road crashes in the country. The authority further urged duty bearers to ensure the functionality of street lights and traffic lights, or it may be compelled to enforce the standards against the authorities responsible. It said, given the threat and the duty imposed on the authority to reduce road traffic crashes, injuries and deaths, the authority directs that the Department of Urban Roads, the relevant assemblies and the Ministry of Energy should take urgent and appropriate steps to ensure the functionality of street lights and traffic signals. It said the authority may be compelled to exercise its mandate to enforce the standards against erring duty bearers should their irresponsibility persist. Welcome to the Awushi Barnyard traffic intersection here in Accra. Here on the busy N1 highway, which is an international highway, these traffic lights have not been working for months.
Dysfunctional traffic lights are becoming a major feature of the capital city. Like you can see, these policemen deployed here are ensuring that there are no crashes as a result of these dysfunctional traffic lights. But commuters are not satisfied with a stopgap measure. As they say, they have to spend more time in their vehicle, more than the necessary time that they would have spent if these traffic lights were working. Many of them are calling on city authorities to intervene and fix the challenge. They say these traffic lights have not been working for the past 5 months.
It's very unfortunate that the traffic light is not working. And I think the authorities responsible for fixing the traffic light must wake up and fix it, because this is not something that we cannot do. I have heard of places where overseas, where certain roads get destroyed, and within 2 or 3 days they fix it. I don't know why we can't fix our own traffic lights. So authorities should be up and doing and then fix the traffic light, because it's human lives at stake. I've heard several accidents happening here, and so myself, I'm also a driver, but it's only 3 days ago that I've been driving through this place that I realized that the light is not working. And we always have police people assisting motorists and pedestrians to cross the road in order to avoid inconveniences. So the authorities must wake up and work.
For the past 3 months, getting to 4 months, and they've not done anything about it. It caused a lot of accidents day in and day out. But I've seen they want something to happen before they'll come and do it. Because the road minister, they always pass here, and they always pass here, but they want something to happen before they do, and it's not fair. You understand? It's not fair. Mostly in the evening, it's dangerous because because maybe I'll be coming from Kwashiman, and somebody to be coming from Kasua. Maybe you will not see, and maybe we can crash and something. So it's too bad. It's too bad.
You want them to do something quick about it?
Oh yeah, it's true. They need to do something about it. But in Ghana here, there are some certain things when you talk about it, and people will start be pointing out on you that this and that, like we are speaking against the politicians and one or two things. So let's see what God does. But they need to do something about it. It's serious. Because me, I am a driver. I am a younger driver. So sometimes I work in the night. So something like La Paz and this side, some of the traffic, they don't work. And even in Nima Junction at the police station where Nanado is staying, that place, it doesn't work sometimes. And it's very serious. Right? You not even see a policeman standing there to direct the traffic. But there is a police station today. They need they want something to occur first and do they will rush and, hey, who did that? Who did that? But it's not fair. It's not fair.
It's very bad. It's very bad. It's very bad. Sometimes because it can cause accidents at any time. I don't know if they are waiting so that something will happen before they will fix it. We don't know. We don't know. 7 months getting to a year now. This is a highway to that is very bad. Yeah.
So what do you want them to do about it?
Oh, they have to fix it for us. They have to fix it. Yeah, that's what we want them to do.
Oh, this traffic light go off about 7 months now. But always here, traffic, we can't avoid it. So we are begging if they can come and do something about it for us. Because it's Christmas time. So we want that they should come and help us and do it for us. By 9:30, the police is not there. So all the cars want to go fast. So sometimes accident is happening there. So we are begging they should come and help us.
It has been taken about 6-7 months.
How bad is it?
I don't even know what to say about this traffic light because it has been kept long. And it is causing a lot of accidents here. So I don't even know what to say about it. Yeah. Oh, it makes us stay in traffic always. Yeah, always we be in traffic. Yeah, always we be in traffic. Sometimes from Kwashimai to this place, you can take even 1 hour.
Wow. Because of the traffic light that's not working?
Yeah.
So what do you want city authorities to do?
Everything is with the government. Right now, we have to put everything for the government because, to do something about it. Because if we talk and talk, still they will not mind us. So we are all looking into them.
This is a daily occurrence here. As you can see, that taxi driver here is trying to fix his vehicle after another car rammed into his car right here on the high streets. The traffic light here, I'm told, has not been working for more than 2 years. And commuters and drivers are calling on city authorities to do something about the situation.
Here on the high streets in Accra, the situation is not different. Total chaos. There were 2 crashes within 5 minutes when we were here. Drivers here say the traffic lights have not been working for months.
I can say it's been out of use for almost about 2 years ago. Actually, the issue is that it has normally this skirmishes like petty accident do occur, especially if the AMA officers who have normally been stationed here to direct traffic are not at work. Actually, at times there are car crashes here and there, and minor accidents usually occur as a result of the lights not working. Yeah, I think that it's about time they actually step up to make sure that technically the technicians are they have to. I think that it's long overdue. It's high time they actually make sure that it is repaired in order for it to start working.
Speaking on the probe with MFA POW, road safety campaigner and president of the Accident Victim Support Foundation Ghana, Reverend Cyril Krapp, called for the deployment of traffic control assistance.
I would plead with whatever agency is in charge to fix this very, very important furniture on our roads that at least brings or improves vehicular movement and then improves efficiency for our roads to be motorable. Or else, either than that, we are going to always record. And where I see it also again, if you ask me, we have many victims now, more victims. Every year we record over 10,000 victims, even though we have relatively, a reduction in the CIDs, but we still have many, and they keep on calling us. So if they can fix this one thing, which is very, very important, which brings order, without traffic light is like a football field or 2 teams playing without a referee. You can understand the chaos. I mean, it's so scary. And entering into 2023, we need to fix this particular program. And I'll quickly commend you, your outfit, Joy News, for this. I'll still take it from Lawyer Otuahene, commending you. And we also will appeal to you from Accident Victim Support together with National Road Safety Authority to help demand accountability for the agency in charge. So we will see, lives on our roads, going on. Or else 2023, especially at Banyard, Malam Junction, Sakaman Junction, Dansoman Junction, we are in trouble. Okay. And so we will appeal. And also on behalf of Accident Victim Support, we are still appealing. If we can have support to support these victims. You've seen some of our works. We are appealing for support, financial support, and also equipment, to help these victims come back to life or have hope to live again. It will, by and large, help and also seal their lips. And I'm calling on every corporate agency to come and reach out for us and then, come and then support us so we can help these people. Okay. They are also Ghanaians.
Head of Regulations and Compliance at the National Road Safety Authority, Kwame Kodwe, said the Department of Urban Roads lacks the commitment to fix the challenge.
It affects all of us. We all get into the road environment. We get frustrated by these lapses, more so when we have a duty to help resolve them. I want to believe that your reporters have animated the incidents quite clearly. I have no reason to doubt the feedback, because on a regular basis we leave the unfortunate experiences and we also get similar feedback from the field. Yes, I think in December of 2021, out of my own observation, we thought that we should pay closer attention to these issues. So we issued an alert and followed up with an audit in June 2022. Primarily, the essence or the objective was two ways or twofold. First, we thought that we owed the duty and the public a responsibility to get them informed of these dysfunctional traffic lights, so that for those who were using these roads for the first time, they would be on alert and drive with care. Second was to draw the attention of the Department of Urban Roads, which is the public agency with the frontline responsibility. In fact, the Department of Urban Roads has the basic or primary responsibility to deal with all matters of traffic lights. All the others that pretend to offer a suggestion or attempts to offer a suggestion are secondary duty bearers. So the objective really was to bring these constraints and complaints and observations to their concern, which we did. In fact, we did and gave them a 60-day period to get back to us. Instructively, we got a response from the department it must have been on the 60th day or a day to the 60th day notice. And they confirmed that, yes, some of the traffic lights that we had reported as dysfunctional were not actually dysfunctional, but at the time of our inspections were off-duty power outages. But also considered that a good number of them were also out of operation due to traffic incidents and related matters. But the indication, as far as remedial actions was concerned, was that they had given some of the task on a contract in order to have them fixed. We have observed over the period, it's part of our plan. With some of them, when we went back, we saw some relative improvements. Okay. But in some others, it has been erratic. For instance, when you look at some of the traffic lights in Accra, in areas that you have mentioned, a particular traffic light that comes to mind on the Shiashi Shangri-La
the Okponglo one, for instance.
Yes, I mean, its functionality has been pretty erratic. It works today, tomorrow it's out of place. So it was our plan to really conduct an audit again in January to be able to appreciate the extent of work done.
So that's a detailed piece put together by my colleague Maxwell Agbagba on faulty traffic lights in Accra. If you're somebody who uses some of these areas that were mentioned, you know for sure that those lights are still not functioning. Take, for example, around the what's that place called? Just before you get to Malam, and that faulty traffic light, Awoshi traffic light, is not working. And it hasn't been working for a very long time. This morning, I've been joined by Cecil Gabra. He is a road consultant and also has his own Top Tech Transport and Logistics, which he is the CEO of, consulting for the National Road Safety Authority and other transport companies. We've also got Engineer David Adonting, the Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, for a conversation on this, a really important one. Good morning to you. Let me start with you, Mr. Gabra. First off, hope you had a good time during the Easter. I spoke to you. Your quick assessment of that exercise you carried out with the Road Safety Authority, visiting some road points and ensuring that people were driving responsibly during the Easter period.
Thank you so much, Bernice, and good morning to your cherished viewers and listeners. I think it was an excellent move, and I will just first of all congratulate my good brother who is also waiting online, Engineer David Adonting, for the good initiative to say, look, this time we are not going to go alone. We have to involve all of us, and I think it's a good start and it's a good beginning. What are we looking at? We are looking at reducing the accident rates, which I'll say Ghana is doing very well at this very moment. We are very careful, but then we just hoping that people will be very responsible enough to know that, look, the vehicle that they are driving is a machine and anything could happen. So good initiative, and I guess my brother will elaborate on the exercise. Yeah.
He'll be joining us shortly, and I'll get all the details and find out if there were any arrests made or cautions given. But this morning, we're talking about faulty traffic lights, and you would admit with me, sir, that a lot of times we place the burden at the feet of the driver. Drive responsibly. You're holding a machine, and so be careful. Blah, 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 blah. I have witnessed about 3 accidents just at the Aoshi intersection, and that's such a major point. It's such a major intersection that it baffles me why that traffic light has not been working for years. We seem to be putting a lot of focus on the drivers, and we are leaving those responsible for ensuring that we have good lighting on our streets, because that's also important. What you also notice in the evenings is that people are just using their highlights, okay, because they can't see, the street lights aren't working and they're blinding other drivers. Why does it appear that we are letting these authorities off the hook when it comes to the road safety conversation?
Thank you, Bernice. Honestly speaking, I'll tell you the fact that it's all due to money. It is money, okay? And don't blame the Department of Urban Roads alone. I think we should blame the ministry for not allocating the right amount of money for this repair and maintenance. Traffic lights are there to support us. And, we all sang that beautiful song when we were kids. If you see the traffic light, there's something you should know. Stop and so on and so forth. But today I always tell people that the song has changed. If you see the traffic light, there's something you should know. Green means go, amber means go faster, and red means I'll say shim, which means go very, very fast, because drivers are also recalcitrant. Right, so good. Let me leave the driver's side and come to the real situation that we are seeing. Right, there's the issue of hits and run damages of equipment, which we all see. Traffic lights are down, and who is supposed to repair it? I mean, that person who caused the accident must be arrested and must be dealt with. Theft of the equipment is also happening. Cables are being stolen, the covers of the chambers, and this is an exercise that my team went around to check, and we had some few conversations with the right people. Vandalism is also part. Damage of underground cables by unauthorized excavations, okay, must be looked at. And then burning of refuse. In Ghana, everybody can burn any refuse at any corner, and then that also has destroyed most of the equipment, right? Power fluctuations is also one thing. Inadequate funding, that's it. I mean, we are all paying, road tolls. Road tolls was in, it vanished for, let's say, a period of time, but it's back. What are we using the money for? That such money is to repair and maintain the lighting system, maintain the traffic lights. And do we see it? It is not happening. Right. I spoke to a few companies that have been given that contract, and this is the information that I'm getting, that, look, it's all to do with funding. If there's money, they'll do it. But are we going to sit down for many people to die in this country out of road crashes? No, that is it. Right. I am not saying we should stand up and then maybe go for a demonstration and so on, but it's the same people who are also using these traffic lights, and it should be repaired as soon as possible.
Right.
Okay? Because if we do not repair it, we are going to have the increment of a lot more of accidents. And then it is, for us, the National Road Safety Authorities goal that this year, road crashes must be reduced. And this is also part of it, Bernice.
Mr. Gabra, ideally, I want to ask you this question because it's not within your mandate. But since you mentioned that you've been working and finding out from companies and getting information as well, let me just find out from you if you can speak specifically to the Awoshi traffic light, for example, which is a major intersection. Do we know why that light hasn't been working? And is it also a funding issue or an issue of a destroyed cable, etc.?
Well, Bernice, I must be honest with you that is totally out of my jurisdiction. I live off the Spinters Road, and I know Awoshi traffic light is not working. That's your area, but then going to check, I am sure to be an issue of underground. But promise me, if you give me some 10 minutes, as David is talking, I'm going to make some few calls and I'll get back to you and know what exactly is the problem. But it needs to be fixed. That is what I am saying. It must be fixed. What about the one at Shiashi? And that is even, I'm sure, very, very serious than Awoshi. I don't know the Awoshi, but it's serious. However, what we need to do as drivers, if a traffic light is not working, please and please, let's just use that simple system where one goes, the other will wait, one will go from the other end. It's really colorful in developed countries, okay? That we do not all rush to a traffic light and say, look, I drew her first, I call. I know it's been done in the Ashanti region, but then please let's exercise a lot of constraints and do the right thing. That is it. Okay. After all, we are all looking at saving lives, saving properties. The vehicle you are using is very, very, very expensive. Lives cannot be replaceable, and all what we need to do as one people is to just use our common sense.
So this is a major highway you may consider because it connects to the Cape Coast Highway, and so you have 3 lanes on each side. I'm just trying to paint a picture for those who may not be familiar with the Awoshi area. And I must say that at certain times of the day, you have men from the Ghana Police Service stationed there to ensure that traffic is orderly, especially at dawn and in the night from about 10 p.m. onwards. That's where the problem begins, okay? And so, 1, the lights are not functioning. 2, there are no street lights. And coupled with other factors, maybe drivers speeding or not having enough lighting system to alert another driver that they are coming. So this is, it's a complex issue, okay? And you spoke about funding earlier. The big question for me is it a case of we don't have money, or it's a case of our priorities are somewhere else? From where you sit, what do you think?
Well, I think we are not prioritizing road safety in this country. It's really important. If you look at the National Road Safety Authority, for instance, working so hard, but they're handicapped. They need money to work. They need vehicles. They need people. I suggested to them in the last meeting that, look here, we have a lot of national service personnel. And then before we engage them in a special services that I'm looking at, called the Yellow Kiosk Project, where we'll have yellow kiosks, okay, made by maybe one of these plastic companies, where we'll deliberately put in a national service person. Now, what is he going to do? He's going to be there, and as soon as you drive and then you see that yellow kiosk, nobody will tell you that, hey, the people are around. You know, it's just a deterrent. But where is the money to pay the boys? Where is the money to have this yellow kiosk? National Road Safety Authority, and I say it because I've spoken to most of them, they are handicapped. There's no money. There are no vehicles. And this is a very important authority in helping to reduce the road accidents as a carnage on the roads. But if government cannot give them what they need to have, then how do we save lives? Are we waiting to hear that a very important personality has passed through a road crash before we wake up and say, give them what they need? No, government must open its eyes. My Nigerian friend will say, shine your eyes before we have deaths on the road. So it's just a major concern, and I know it's money. All these traffic light issues that we are talking about, right? I have spoken to some of the companies, and they have told me plainly that, Mr. Gabriel, if we have funding, we'll do it. And then also to do with issues on contractors who are excavating wrongly. And there are so many issues. And I think multimedia must take this opportunity to delve into it and deal with the issues before you have your relatives and my relatives passing through road crashes.
For some people, it's a daily affair of having to be on the roads. And I remember that road safety campaign song by Osei Kufuor, I think so, that's his name. He's now with Ghana Post. Used to be a musician, Obo, popularly known as Obo. And it had a line in it that, as a young girl, listening to that song got me thinking. And I personally believe that drivers may have felt that thing that I felt as a little girl. I wasn't so little, by the way. But so basically saying that mom said she was going and she would return, but she never came back. And it was such a thing in our faces that you always wanted to be extra careful. We've spoken about funding for the traffic lights. Let's digress a bit and talk about generally what we've been doing to keep it in the faces of drivers and road users about the importance of staying safe on the roads. I was at the 60th anniversary of the Akosombo International School last year, and two students, old students of that school, put up a quiz, and it had to do with writing a poem about road safety. And here's why they did that. They're siblings, because their dad died through the recklessness of a commercial vehicle driver somewhere in the western region. The driver just decided to overtake when he was not supposed to and just ran into the man and killed him. So these are real lives we are talking about here, real people, real families, and real life situations. How do we keep up? I know we always say money, but there's technology now. There's simpler ways of doing things. So how do we make sure that we keep it in the faces of people on how they must stay safe on the roads?
Well, that's a very big one, and my contribution simply is that we need to be a friend's keeper on the road. We just need to obey rules and regulations. There are a lot of factors and causes of these accidents that could be prevented. And it's just as simple for all drivers, all pedestrians, all passengers, and others to use their basic common sense to know that speed kills. And I mean, that's the main factor, that's the biggest issue of road, crashes that we can never stop. Yesterday, for instance, I was lecturing a group of people from a big company, and I said, let's all drive at 50 kilometers now and see what happens. Right. So we took to the road from the Spanner Junction all the way to the high street. We're driving at 50. And Bennett, guess what? The honking of other drivers alone was quite disturbing. Hey, why are you driving slow? What? But that is the speed limit. The speed limit of the country says 50 kilometers in town. When you're traveling 90 kilometers on the highway, and then 100 kilometers on the motorway. But all these are not working. It's the laws that are not working in the country. And if we are all driving at such speed, honestly speaking, I don't think we'll record even one accident, one incident. So it's a serious attitudinal change that we need in this country. When we have that attitudinal change where all of us will agree that, look, maybe of the radio stations, your systems, and so on could help to do this at least for one day. Let's see how it is. That, look, on the highway, everybody drives at 80. In Accra, everybody drives maximum speed at 50. Let's see what happens. And that is the laws that we have. So speed is the main factor. I mean, we always talk about the road, which we say the road is not good, and so, but then that is only 5% of accidents that we see. A lot of the accidents that we see are caused by human factors. 90% of it are caused by human factors. And out of this 90%, I'll say about 85% is caused by speed, okay? So we need to just hammer on this issue to save lives. That look, let us reduce our speed, and then we need to work towards it. Honestly speaking, I've been talking about this, but we need that action, and then it shouldn't come from National Road Safety Authority. All of us are involved. All of us. After all, goods and services that we have in this country, that is moving of goods and services, it's all done by transport. I mean, 99% of it is all done by road transport and not by air. It's only few that we transport by air. So we are all banished. You drove this morning, I drove this morning, and I mean, I've been talking whilst I've been driving to myself. When I see faults, I said, well, I should look at what he's doing. And I always say that for all of us being drivers, out of 10 drivers, Bennis, and I'll say it without fear or favor, that 7 of us are mad on the road. Out of 10 drivers around you, always 7 of them are mad. Madness doesn't talk about somebody removing his clothes and then walking by the street, but then we have problems. Depression is killing us. We are driving, we haven't, paid our landlords, we are owing people, and so on. You get angry, a little crossing here and there, and so on. This is all madness. And then if we cure ourselves, that will also reduce the carnage on the road, Menace.
If you just joined us on the AM show, today we're talking about faulty traffic lights in the capital. And I know that for many of you in other parts of the country, you may have similar concerns. Mr. Gabra, not to justify the seeming rush that characterizes driving in the capital, but we all know what it is like in the morning is bars. I have lived in Kumasi for quite a large part of my life, and I don't see that rush as I see here in Accra. So there's something about Accra that makes people, that makes them always appear to be in a hurry. Don't you believe, though, that, and I know this is a leading question, but don't you believe, though, that if we developed other aspects of our commercial transport system, we could reduce that that character that we see on our streets. For example, if we had trains working, if I hopped onto a train this morning, if you hopped onto a train this morning, there'll be fewer vehicles on the road, there'll be less traffic, there wouldn't be that urge for people to rush to work and beat the traffic, etc. Aren't we focusing too much or aren't we expecting too much of human behavior when there are other ways of dealing with the problem, like developing the rail sector?
Well, thank you so much, Benis. And then that brings me to the fact that I always say we have failed as a nation because all what you're saying could have been done a long time ago. Okay, I'll first of all pick on the issue of the BRT system, which is the bus rapid transit system that could take, that's what we call Ayalolo, that could have, solved a lot of issues on our transport system. Because Ayalolo doesn't work, we don't have segregated roads. And if even we have segregated roads, we brought in good buses, but then mismanagement has been the issue of this, expensive Marco Polo buses, where if you visit the Ayalolo Center right now, most of them are parked. But then, we have really failed because if you look at countries like India, Pakistan, and so on, a lot of people don't own vehicles, but then they use the public transit system, okay, where the bus is around and then you sit in. And that reminds me, when I was a little boy several years ago, I used to live with my parents at South Labadi Estate. I'll be going to Teshinungwa Estate. And there's an omnibus. That's at the bus stop, bus 17A. I sit in it. 10-15 minutes we are at Teshinungwa, visit my uncle. And then wait for another 15-30 minutes. I'm back to South Labadi Estate. Today we can't see this because if you look at the major road itself, a lot of people have developed wrongly on such roads, on the highways, and we have seen it and we don't care. Who are we to blame? Those concerned, and definitely we need to talk about it. It's gone because we have sold the shoulders of the road for people to build put up kiosks, people to put up other shops and so on. Those that's the shoulder of the road was really meant for this. And if you look at Kwame Nkrumah's plans for Ghana, okay, we could have had the train system running from all the way from Tema to Accra, not using the motorway as such, but then using a place like from the Nungua barrier to Accra. But then just go and look at that place. It is not working. And then it is time. Well, it is not late if we are able to break areas at Teshinungwa and so on and put up a highway. Then we can as well put up the train system. And then the train system, what do we see? We only have the one-track system. It starts from maybe Accra, goes round at Teshi, Tema, and so on. But we don't have any coming from Tema at that particular time. And it's also so sad. I live around the Spintex area. I pass through Teshinungwa. What's that place called? Is it Asoko now? So, there's a train station there, and it is really horrible. Very, very horrible. I ask myself, so can't the train operators notice that they can put up a little train stop there where vendors will be, allocated places to sell maybe porridge in the morning and so on, where workers could eat and continue with their journey to the office, where a car park will also be given that you park your vehicle here. But then we are seeing all these things outside, and we come back and we are still in this field. What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? You pick a country like Netherlands. The Netherlands was taken by the sea some years ago, but then go there and it's just so beautiful. They are using the sea, they are using the train system, they are using the tram system, they are using vehicles, bus system, and then the airports are, the Schiphol airport is above all. Why can't we do similar things than to talk about NDC, MPP politics that is not taking us anywhere. We are retrogressing in this country, Benis.
Like others have suggested, probably focusing on a national plan may be the solution to our problems. Do you agree in considering an agenda for our transport sector plus others? Should we, because you just mentioned NDC and MPP, should we, like some have suggested in the agri sector, for example, taking it from politicians and giving it to the National Planning Commission, should we be looking at something like that as well for our road transport system?
That would have been a perfect one, but will it work? Because if Party A comes, he's going to he's going to appoint his people to manage the National Planning Committee, and then as soon as they are off, and another Party A comes, they'll come over and change things. I mean, who will be in control of such situations? So we are stuck, and we are growing. And then very soon, some of us will be called by our makers. It's our children that we are looking at to build Ghana to what we say comparable and stage of with state-of-the-art equipment to run with other countries. So we have failed. That is it. We have failed.
Mr. Garba, I would ask you to hold on for a while I bring in Engineer Adonting, who is the Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Before I get into the details of our conversation today, just a quick wrap of your exercise during the Easter period. I spoke to you on Friday. You were out on the streets, on the highways, ensuring that people were being responsible and not being reckless. Were there any arrests made? Can you just give us a wrap of that entire exercise?
Well, thank you very much, and good morning to you and all our friends who are with you, to all Ghanaians, and then to my good friend, Mr. Garba, for all his support, encouragement. I think that before the Easter, we had a lot of engagement with the media. We demonstrated to the general public that the situation during Easter is not going to be the same like before, when we always come back reporting on the number of deaths and injuries and so on. And we gave our word to the people of Ghana. And indeed, we have come to report back to the people to say that we have come with good news. The good news is that the situation was very calm. We did not record any disastrous situations where we could talk of 10 people die here, 20 people die here, the old story again. No. We have come of age. National Road Safety Authority, we know the problems, we know where they are and how we can solve them. I think we are beginning to now have that strong commitment and dispensation with support from everybody, and I think we are getting the positive results. As I said to you, we do not have much to say in terms of the deaths and injuries and so on. But we have much to say in terms of what we actually deployed on the ground. And I want to thank every media person who dedicated space and time for us to speak to the people of Ghana, especially those motorists, drivers, and everybody who on the day of Easter and before then, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, had to drive and transit on the road to their various destinations, especially those who went to Kwawu and then Koko and Barong. We were on the road. I was particularly there personally with the IGP also himself, with our directors and our team. Everybody showing commitment to demonstrate that there was nobody who was going to misbehave like before. We stopped all those who were to drink and drive. There was no drink driving. We also stopped those who were going to do wrongful overtaking, and also those who were going to speed beyond speed limits. We were there with our gadgets. We stopped vehicles. We spoke to them. We gave them confidence and trust and encouragement. We had to, do a few arrests anyway, about 25 of them on the first day, and we are taking them through the rigors of the laws accordingly. And the rest of them responded very positively, and they changed their attitude to the level that we expect. And trust me, I think I give commendation to all motorists, the transport operators in particular, the GPRTUs, the Pro Tours, and all of them who transported people across the length and breadth of this country. We didn't hear the old story again. But that doesn't mean that we have finished it all. We still have more work to do. But there were a few of them that we came across. But I think our engagement with them, they realized the need that they have a role to play in all these road safety management things we're talking about. I want to say that our plan actually was executed perfectly with the IGP at the front line, myself and my directors, and all the team from National Road Safety Authority and the Ghana Police Service, with all our stakeholders from wherever. I think we want to say that good job done. Are equal to everybody? And I must say the media, I do not know how I should commend you and thank you. People like Gaba, who also drove straight to my office, sat with me and gave me a few tidbits and ideas, which we included. And I think now we are proud to say that Easter was calm. Everybody is fine, and we have all gone and come back safely. And I think that is the news we are reporting to the general public now.
Engineer, these people you say are facing the law. What exactly are their offenses?
Well, some of them were speeding. Of course, we've got a few of them who were so excited and overexcited for Easter. And you know, when it comes to Kwawu, 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 and the kind of lyrics around Kwawu, people went overboard. There were others, a couple of them who had taken in alcohol, and so driving under the influence of alcohol. These were young men who, in their youthful exuberance, have very, very good cars. Some of them wanted to test the capacity of their vehicles, so running far beyond the speed limit. There were others who also tried to misbehave in a way. You stop them and they wouldn't stop, and they want to perhaps show that they have the muscles. But you cannot do that when the police present has said that we are prepared to counter all these kind of measures. So, speeding, actually, a couple of them. There were some who had taken in some alcohol and driving at the same time. There were others who were showing, some levels of indiscipline, various levels of indiscipline, disrespect to authority, to the police. We stop you and you don't want to stop, and all those things.
Are they being arraigned, and which courts will preside over their cases?
Yes. In fact, I think we were very committed to the fact that much as we wanted to do more of education, more of engagement, more of sensitization, but we warned that should there be anybody who will show indiscipline, irresponsibility for that matter, and wanting to do something against all the plans that we have, that's when we will pick you up. And when we pick you up, we will take you through the law.
Just to be clear, sorry I'm interjected. I just want to get some clarity here. Of all the people who were caught for these offenses, they were just cautioned. And so from that exercise you carried out on Good Friday, no one is being arraigned.
But you see, there are certain personalities being involved that I wouldn't want to mention names. There were some celebrities, who will definitely arrange them for us.
Okay.
I'll not mention
So
names.
we'll get details of that. But let's move to the conversation proper. This was just an update I wanted on your exercise on Friday.
That's right.
Faulty traffic lights. I remember right here on the show, there was a day I engaged you at the Alisa Hotel. I don't know if you remember. There was a sensitization program you were having there together with some insurance companies. And I spoke to you about the Awoshi traffic lights. This was sometime last year, about the traffic light that wasn't working. Fast forward 2023, we're in April, it's still not working. I have personally witnessed about 3 accidents, one involving about 4 different vehicles from all angles, crashing at the center. How long do we want to risk this? These are people's lives. And this happened at a time the police officers were not stationed to direct traffic orderly. It was at dawn, at that time of the day where the lights aren't working, there really isn't anybody. There are some young boys who try to step in to do that, but I really can't tell what happened on that day. But for how long, Engineer Dante? Mr. Gabra has pointed to lack of funding. And the question is, Why aren't we prioritizing? This is a major intersection. Shiashi, for example, is a major road in the capital. What will it take for us to say, let's put some money aside and fix whatever the problem is?
I think that, Amadi Frank, I am perhaps as worried as you are, or perhaps even more than, for the position I hold and managing situations which should prevent human deaths of human beings and damage to properties and injuries and so on. And there's one particular problem, and I answer questions on this particular problem every day regarding traffic lights. Indeed, without the traffic lights, we all know the repercussions, the negative issues as far as road traffic crashes are concerned. Traffic lights regulate movement at intersections. We all know. Now, if you get to an intersection, the major ones, Taukudi, Dawoshi, and the ones 37 and the rest, and they are not functioning, then we should expect anything to happen. Well, once in a while we bring the police to come and manage the situation. But for how long can this continue? It means that I am worried as an institution that has the mandate to regulate some of these things. But unfortunately, I don't. Our institution does not install traffic lights. It is the responsibility of the Department of Urban Roads to do this. Now, what we do is collaboration and coordination. We bring to their attention the fact that there are 40 traffic lights at certain intersections. Some of them, they move very quickly to get them fixed. Others, they are unable to. And when we confront the issue, it all comes back to the same thing Mr. Gaba is talking about. Funding, they don't have the money, contractors have been, have not been paid, and so they do not want to go. And sometimes it's also about theft and vandalism. Some people go steal the cables, others also steal the whole control board, and all that for various reasons that we cannot understand. But I think that all in all, as you said, we can prioritize traffic lights. We can do it. We have been pushing the agenda for some time now, trying to pursue our colleagues from the engineering fraternity, especially the Department of Urban Roads, to do this. But unfortunately, when you get to a point and it's about funding, my sister, what else can you do? We just have to wait and see. But we try as much as possible to collaborate with the police, for the police to, release a couple of them to stand at these intersections. Some of these national service guys that we have trained them also coming to do some traffic management here and there. But it is something we must all advocate. We must advocate through your medium and others so that we see the need for us to at least come and get some of these critical intersections to be working. It needs to work because failure of which, especially at night, anything at all could happen. And I don't think we should sit down until it happens and then we come and write the statistics and the stories around it. I want to also share the pain with you that we use your platform to keep talking, to keep advocating for traffic lights to be prioritized so that we should be forthcoming as an agency responsible for it. Look for the money, if it is about money, to get it fixed because it is important. And I'm as worried as you are. I think that we've gotten to a situation where we all need to put our hands together and support each other in this area. Otherwise, all these statistics that we have worked so hard in trying to protect, sustain, and maintain, because as I speak to you, in 2 months we have reduced fatalities by 31%. In the first quarter, if you add even March, we have done a reduction of 25% of fatalities. We need to sustain and maintain it. So we shouldn't let things come to mar and muddy the waters. Whatever we need to do as responsible agencies, we must be forthcoming. We must try and do it. I know there are others that we have done, but we need to do more. So I also want to take advantage of this opportunity to speak and advocate to our agencies. Whoever has a responsibility to fix one thing or the other within the road space, please, let us do that. For the National Road Safety Authority, we are doing our bit by sensitizing, by talking to people, trying to win their mindsets to be able to change their attitudes within the road space. Now, if you are doing that and a certain road facility is not functioning, what is the justification going to ask somebody to do one thing or the other? I think it's a collective thing we all need to do. Road safety is a shared and collective responsibility. So, much as I want to sensitize individuals to change their attitudes in road use, I also want to speak to institutions. The street lights. We need a street light. We need a traffic light. We need the potholes to be patched. We need the line marking. We need the crash barriers. All these things contribute to crashes. And I think if we are able to fix them and fix them well, that is the only way we can see ourselves moving forward as a nation. I think that is what I can say around it.
And on the issue of human activities affecting traffic lights, I have received some photos just sent to me by Mr. Gabra while the conversation was ongoing, indicating what we as people have also done in contributing to the problem and how we must desist from such activities. And if you witness anybody hitting a traffic light and driving off, just take their car number. Now, because of technology, there's a way of tracking the person down and ensuring that they pay for the damage caused. If you see anybody, performing some funny activities around the control system of traffic lights or any installation of that sort, you should be concerned as a citizen, because this all affects us and you can never tell who will fall victim. That's the thing about road crashes. You can never tell, and I've always said that we must all be concerned. It's just like the fight against illegal mining. You may sit and say, oh, it doesn't concern me. I live in an area that has functioning streetlights. You never know what will bring you to Awoshi. You never know what will take you to Shiashi, or even that person you love could be affected. So let's all get on board and push for these things to be done. Well, just in wrapping up my conversation, Mr. Gabra, any concluding thoughts? Anything you'd like to say in wrapping up?
Thank you so much. I think Engineer David has said it all. It's a concern for all of us to live as one people and support each other by just doing the right thing on the road. That is it. That is road safety. Road safety is not only for the National Road Safety Authority, DVLA, the Ministry of Transport, but then as one people, we all need to support each other so we curb the road crashes, so we'll have maybe for the whole year a very minimum number of deaths through their own negligence. Even through that, we need to support each other. If you are that type who speed a lot, where you are recalcitrant, all what we want to tell you is that as a Nigerian man will say, your time will come, which means that if you don't take care, you lose your life. And then your family will be wondering on what to do next. We need everybody alive as one people, not only Ghanaian, being a Ghanaian, but then everybody. Well, we should be a brother's keeper on the road. Let's stop speeding. That's the major issue. Those talking on the phone who are driving at that same time must desist from it. Stop and talk to whoever you want to talk to, and then you can go on with your driving. Those of you also driving on the shoulders, please, it is against the regulations. Those who are running the red lights, please stop it. Stop it. So it's a human attitude that we need to change, right? If we all change our lives, I guess we'll have minimum crashes on the road. Let us be our brother's keeper. That is what I would say.
Right. And as you were speaking and wrapping up, we just started showing the photos of some damaged traffic lights, some of them stolen, some of them affected by fire because people decided to burn close to a traffic light. What is wrong with us? And some also, indicating theft, some hit and run issue. So that one you're seeing there in the truck has been affected because somebody hit it. There you see the control system of the traffic light tampered with. Some people just go in and for whatever reasons steal very important parts of these control systems. So please, let's all be on the lookout. This is about all of us. Engineer, your final words.
I highly admire and appreciate your advocacy in the past few minutes. What you have delivered appears to be exactly what we need to do. Thank you also very much, Mr. Gaba, for clearly reminding everybody that Road Safety is about us all. All of us have some role to play, so we should play our roles very well. We as far as the general attitudinal change, we are working on it. I believe, let me commend the IGP once again. Anywhere I go, I commend him because he's doing a good job to support us in terms of enforcement. But we as a people to also continue to do our bit. The advocacy you have started will support you so that we all call for intersections to be fixed, traffic lights at intersections to be fixed, and all others. We are making positive gains. We are reducing the deaths and the injuries. We should keep on. We can do it as a country. All the small bits we are all doing are contributing immensely, and we recognize that. I think we should continue. We will do our best, and I think that Ghanaians will listen to us, and they will also do their portion. And let me commend you and thank you so much for this opportunity. But it is not ended yet. Let's keep on talking. Road safety is about talking. It's about advocacy. It's about sensitization. Letting people know, understand, and appreciate what they must do, which we are doing now. And I think in the next couple of months to the end of the year, we will do further reductions to see that now we have achieved a lot for road safety in Ghana. I want to thank you and have a good day.
Good day too, sir. Thank you very much. You heard Engineer Donting. He is the Acting Director General of the Ghana Road Safety Authority. You also heard Cecil Gabra, who's CEO of Top Tech Logistics, and he has also been sharing his thoughts with us on road safety. When we come back, we will be finding out from you what your concerns also are about faulty traffic lights and what you've seen, especially with human activities and how we contribute to that. We'll be back to do that in a moment. Do stay.